came here today to spend a little time with what's called some Jacob's sheep. And they're not exactly cooperating with the camera. They're not smiling, but it actually works well for my point today because I'm not exactly their shepherd either. And these little guys don't know my voice. Jacob's sheep, as the legend goes all the way back to the time that Jacob was taking sticks and, trying to build his own flock under his uncle Laban. And so whether or not that's where they actually come from, we don't know. But these little guys, if you get the big ones with what's called, there's 4-horn and 2-horn. If you get the 4 horns, they're pretty wild looking. You should look them up on Google, check them out. But they have a set of horns that comes up around the top and then a set that comes down around the bottom. These little fellas here, they're just 2 horns, though, so they'll just have the ones that come up out of the top of their head. But pretty neat, and they were used a lot in the British Isles for people that had large land masses and wanted to contain the grass in their fields, and so they would get these guys, and they thought they looked pretty out in the field. I want to share with you today John 10:14 through 17. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and am known by my own. As the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I bring, and they will hear my voice, and they will be one flock and one shepherd. Therefore my Father loves me, because I lay down my life, that I may take it up again. See, Jesus is good indeed. He is definitely the good shepherd. As a matter of fact, he knows more about us than we know about ourselves. And Matthew 10:30 says, but the very hairs of your head are numbered. I'd say that's better than I even know myself. And, I have a friend that he doesn't have much hair on top. And so he was teasing me the other day. He said, hey, who's laughing now that there's no barbers open, right? So the little lambs, like I said, these guys don't know me. They know I'm not their shepherd, so they don't know my voice. As a matter of fact, they're only 2 months old and have only been on this particular farm for just 2 days. And so they're still getting used to their surroundings, so they're still a little skittish, and that's okay. But I want to think about for a moment how Jesus is like our good shepherd. And he talked to the Israelites and the Hebrew people and explained to them that he was like their shepherd, and the people that knew him would know his voice, and they would follow him when he called. And those of us that believe, he was letting them know that there's going to be another flock coming into this, which is us as Gentiles. And we're invited into his flock. Matter of fact, he says that he loves us so much that he would lay down his life for these sheep. And of course, we celebrated Easter just the other day. And, Jesus, he did lay down his life. It's one thing when you talk about something, say, oh, I do this or I do that. Sometimes it's easy to talk really, really tough. But things change when you come face to face with the reality. But as we recognized at Easter, Jesus wasn't just talking, he was actually out doing this. He was fully committed to laying down his life for his sheep. But then it also says that he could take it up again, which is really what we celebrate at Easter, the time at the point of the resurrection where he conquers death. You can't hardly talk about Jesus being a good shepherd without talking about the 23rd Psalm, where it says, David wrote, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Perhaps in quarantine, maybe what Jesus is saying is it's time for him as a shepherd to make us lie down in green pastures. Maybe it's time that he makes us take a rest because we're doing too much. Regardless if that's the reason or not, we can still walk through his paths of righteousness. And we can still continue to follow him faithfully, regardless of what our circumstances are. Yeah, regardless of what our circumstances are, we can still follow in his paths. Jesus wasn't exactly glorifying mankind when he related us to sheep. I mean, you can see how skittish these little guys are, and sheep aren't exactly known for, well, don't take it personal, guys. No offense, but sheep aren't exactly known for being the most brilliant creatures in the world. They're not the best, especially domesticated sheep. They don't usually last too long in the wild. They're easily attacked. Their best hope of survival is simply sticking together and hoping the slower guy gets nailed. But we have Jesus. He's a good shepherd indeed. One that truly did lay down his life for us and took it up again. But one that invites us to know his voice. And so it's most important during these times of crisis, that we have a pandemic and a quarantine going on. It's most important at a time like this to recognize the shepherd's voice. So when he gives you direction, when he calls you, when he guides you, you know just how to follow. And I want to thank these guys for letting me join them here today. It's been interesting. Yep, they're still not used to my voice, still not digging me, but that's okay. Thank you so much, and have a great day.